With spooky times fast approaching, I felt it would be cool to take a look at some horror games for the Sega Saturn. But rather than doing the regular old review, I figured I would just recommend 5 different games to put you in the Halloween mood. So let's dive right in. First up, we have Battle Monsters, developed by Scarab and released exclusively for the Sega Saturn. This fairly clunky one-on-one fighter takes many cues from Mortal Kombat, with its heavy emphasis on digitized graphics and its use of blood and gore. This game has a really classic horror movie vibe, with the look of the environments and menus, to the characters inspired by different horror movie monsters, like Frankenstein's monster among others. The fighting mechanics aren't particularly deep really, and you can usually find 1 or 2 moves for a character that you can spam your way to victory. It's not a game I would call good in any way, or really scary for that matter, but it's just so cheesy and the concept is so ludicrous that it's worth checking out, especially if you have a buddy to play with. You can't have a spooky games list without mentioning Resident Evil. I did a video about this last Halloween, but I feel it still deserves a place here. While it doesn't hold up much today as it did 20 years ago, it's still worth looking at the game that puts survival horror on the map. You can easily play Resident Evil just about anywhere, but for Saturn owners, it makes for a nice collector's piece nowadays. The one, the only, Mr. Bones. Yes, I'm finally talking about this one. You play as the titular Mr. Bones, a skeleton of a man brought back from the dead to wreak havoc on the world. Except you don't. Now Donkey Konga and his army of skeletal minions try to take you down by any means necessary. And I mean any means. I find this game incredibly fascinating for the amount of varied playstyles it has. One level has you outrunning the undead, then to defend yourself from the deadly onslaught of the Wave, then at some point proceeding to rock their already bone-dry faces off. There's also some exploration platforming. This game does a lot, and it's spread across 2 discs. There's only one problem. I really don't like this game. Don't get me wrong, I respect this game for everything that it does, but it never manages to do any of those things particularly well, except for the rhythm game parts. I thought those were pretty fun. I'm sure some of you will find some enjoyment in this game, but if someone needs to step up and stop these skeletons from fighting, it certainly won't be me. Deep Fear, Sega's answer to Resident Evil. You play as John Mayer, a SEAL Team 6 operative and an accomplished solo artist, who must solve the mystery of a haunted submarine after it's been infected with hilarious CG cutscenes and terrible voice acting.
I asked Dubois, the designer, to come too.
Oh, there's no problem with my CFOX system. No accident should have occurred. Oh!
While many will see this as just a Resident Evil clone, it includes some pretty clever mechanics relating to your air supply and some innovative controls for the genre, like moving and shooting at the same time. Also, if you have a 3D controller, you can enable full 360-degree movement. I found this game incredibly enjoyable, and I can't wait to play more of it. This game was never released in the States, unfortunately, but if you want to try it for yourself, I'd recommend picking up the Japanese version, as most of it's in English anyways, and it's much cheaper than the European PAL version. Finally, we end on the scariest game on this list, D. D is an FMV adventure game with an emphasis on solving puzzles and filled with really creepy shit! You find yourself in an otherworldly place as you try to stop your murder-happy surgeon father. It's up to you to figure out what made him go crazy and to stop the madness, while also navigating a spooky castle filled with plenty of scares and puzzles. While you don't have full control over Lara, the main protagonist, it helps with creating this intense sense of dread throughout the game, kind of forcing you into rooms and places that you don't want to go to. It's this game's eerie ambience and unsettling atmosphere that pulls me in, and I don't want to put it down. It's certainly not a game for everyone, but I still think it's a game worth experiencing, and now it's easier than ever. You can get D on GOG.com for just $6, and it's absolutely worth the asking price. If you're looking for a good spooky mystery, D should be at the top of your list. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe to Saturnology for more videos like these, and also check me out on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon. Thanks.